This is INCRadio, DCEM 954, the voice of truth, the official radio station of the Church of Christ or Iglesianicristo.
And good morning, everyone, and welcome to INC Radio Florida. I'm one of your hosts this morning, Brother Robert Topalis, coming to you from here on the west coast of Florida. It's about 82 degrees already this morning, and of course, today is Saturday, May 3rd. I can't believe we're this far into the year already, and we'd like to, of course, greet everyone who's joining us this morning. A very, very happy morning here on the east coast of the United States, where it's about 9:32 in the morning, which means it's already 9:32 in the evening or later for some of our viewers there out in Asia and in the countries that are joining us this morning. So for those international greetings, I would love to toss it over to one of our hosts that are there, actually in the midst of a very important activity, preparing for one. They're in the happiest place in Florida. That's in Orlando. Sister Joy, good morning. Good morning, Sister Joy.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you for joining us. Thank you, Brother Robert. It is sunny side up here in the District of Florida. We're so happy that all of you are joining us. Buenos dias, guten morgen, magandang umaga. For all of you who are experiencing morning right now, we're really excited because today our show, we're going to be talking about lots of fun things that have happened. And, it's kind of like a blast from the past. And I am so delighted to have such a wonderful core that is actually with me right now. So I'm actually going to kind of toss or turn the tables around over here, and we're going to slowly introduce everyone that I have here with me. This room is filled with lots of love. I can certainly say that. So I'm going to kind of turn the tables here. I don't know how to, this is for quite a second. There we go. Look at my table here. We have Sister Elida, who everyone is familiar with. We have Brother Angelino, which you all remember, and Brother RJ here.
Hello.
So let's start off, and y'all introduce yourself one by one. Ladies first.
Sister Elida. I know you guys know me from previous episodes. Nice to see you guys again. We're very excited for this one. Can't wait to kind of reminisce and take a look back in the past 6 months.
Yeah, I'm Angelino. I'm Brother Angelino. We mentioned that there's a lot of love in this room, but there's a lot of heat too. And, it should be in Florida.
I hope they have the air conditioning cranked down to about like 62 degrees in the room for you guys, right?
Yes.
And I'm last. I'm Brother RJ from the locale of Orlando, just like all of us. I'm the district community president, and we have a lot to go over today. Yeah, from the last couple, 6 months. Something like that. So glad to be here once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you for all of you joining us. But we're always really excited because it's almost like we were discussing pre-show, right? It's been a busy 6 months, right? And I know and that's not just for our congregation here. And for those of us who are here, this is our District of Florida. And it's been such a wonderful 6 months, and it's been full that we're like, wait, what happened 6 months ago? And as we're discussing, we're like, wait, that happened 6 months ago, because here we are. And right now, as you can see, this is just some of us here. We're actually in another activity, but keeping busy and all really good things and really exciting things. So I'm really excited to dive in and talk about let's try to see what is the farthest 6 months that you what was one of your favorite?
You remember? There's so many, right? Yeah, there's so much. It's great. It's a good problem to have.
I know. Yeah, exactly. It's like one of the best, as we're looking back, oh, do you remember when we had this activity or that activity? You're even just talking about it, family fun day. Wait, which family fun day? Right?
There's so many of them.
Every day is a family fun day. You guys have got to remember that, right? Every day.
Exactly. But then you start talking about all the other family fun days, and you're like, ooh, I remember when we did that. Hey, for the next one, and these are how ideas are generated, right? We're like, hey, for the next one, let's do this. Let's incorporate that, or let's see if we can get this done. So it's really, really, really exciting.
Well, why don't we go ahead and let's flip the switch on this time machine, Sister Joy. Let's go ahead and flip the switch on the time machine, and let's take a look back. I'm actually really excited to see how many of the panel that you've got there actually even remember just how long these activities are. We're not here to quiz anybody, but we're gonna anyway. So
Let's see.
So if Kuya Tech, if you could put us in grid in thumbnail mode, please. Thank you, Paul. Let's take a look at a rewind of Florida for the last 6 months. Now, who remembers November? Who remembers November? Going back to November.
It was a lot.
That was a lot.
Okay, honestly, looking now at the list, I
Do you have
vaguely
fun?
remember. Yeah, now
That's
I
so
remember.
weird. It doesn't feel like it was.
It doesn't feel like it
Right?
was that long
Oh.
ago. That's so weird.
That's one of the things when you're looking at these activities, because so many of them were back to back to back, right? And so many of them were activities that were both at the local level and at the district level. Our Christian family organization here in Florida just rocks. They are just completely on it, jumping into these activities with both feet. And as you take a look at this list, it's hard to imagine that there are only 4 weeks in each of these months, right?
We
Four
have-
and a half weeks. And look at the number of activities that they were able to put through there. So we're going to rewind this back to an activity that may seem like it was from years ago, but it was just back in November. I mean, starting with a tribute to parents. Who wants to tell us a little bit about what that activity happened to be? Do you guys even remember that one?
I do, and I would love to share this one. So, what we did for the tribute to parents, so we also had our Binhi and Kadiwa meetings, I believe, that week, or it maybe just might be Kadiwa. But because of the tribute to parents, what we did is for the icebreaker, we had everyone write or make a card, for their parents, and it's really it's healing in a way when you see, you know, kids that are not so kids anymore making a really heartfelt letter to their parents, even if they're like their parents are not here, like Brother Angelino, you know.
Not in Orlando.
They're just not here in Orlando. So it's really cute that you know, they were able to do that. And then on top of that, then he made some letters and cards too. And then CWS also made some after their worship service. So what I actually did is I put together a video for the parents to watch on the day of the tribute to parents activity. So it was really cute to see, you know, even the oldest kids to the youngest kids making cards for their parents, you know, just to show our appreciation for them. You know, they do so much for us.
You know, after I'm sorry, but like, I'm sorry, I don't mean to cut in, but I just wanted to say, like, I actually like hearing that, and now it's all coming back to me. It's been so long. I'm like, I remember the activity now, like it's like so clear in my mind.
You know, I have to say, as a parent, you know, as a Bookwood member, and for those of you who are just joining, Bookwood are the married members inside the Christian family organizations, or the CFO, and it's just so nice. It's refreshing because it's really, it's so easy as a parent. You get kind of like into this, you know, you're kind of like in this mindset where like, I have to provide, I have to do this, I'm going to do this, I'm going to, you know, so you're kind of juggling all these things. And then when all of a sudden something kind of hits in our way where something, you know, where we're being recognized in a letter like that, you know, that it's really nice. And then as a co-parent, you know, when you hear your other parents being recognized, also when you hear like letters like this and like the video montage, those things are just, they mean so much. They mean a big deal. So, and I can't believe it was 6 months ago.
Yeah,
Yeah.
me too.
That was,
crazy.
yeah.
And like usually, like I don't know about you guys, but like writing letters to your parents like that, usually that's associated with like kids stuff. Right?
Yes,
And that's like,
yes.
But honestly, that's something that we should just keep doing. I don't know.
Yeah.
It's a good reminder that's like, you know, everyone needs to be reminded that they're loved. Like,
Yeah.
it's a bad thing. And it's for some reason that's sometimes the hardest thing
You
that
know
we can
what?
do. It's like the easiest thing, but the hardest thing.
Yeah, no, but I like that. So, you know, activities like this, it really kind of, it encourages us to do that because it's simple. Like we text our parents all the time, right?
Yeah.
I know, and as a parent, I text my kids all the time, but to actually be intentional in an actual, like, you know, and even if it's just something brief,
Mhm.
you know, right? It really just brings out like, oh, so much.
Where's the tissues?
I know. I love. Ooh, so there's another one. So that was just one.
Yeah.
One, right? How about Kadiwa Formal?
Oh,
yeah.
Brother Angelino.
Okay.
You know, that's like the big one for the Kadiwa, right?
Yeah.
It's like, okay, we gotta go all in for this activity.
Yes.
And yeah, we did.
Oh, I love
We
it.
really tried our best. And I think this was our first time.
Yeah.
This was our first time planning it. Like we've attended. I've only attended one. Before.
I've only.
Yeah, I've only attended one
Yeah.
before. Yeah,
So
the year
that's why
before.
this was big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But definitely for us.
For us, yeah, we're like we gotta make this bigger than last year.
Yeah. Top the last year.
Now that we're in charge,
Yeah.
we gotta make it better.
We want it to be better.
No, but you know what? Didn't we have a storm last year that kind of
Oh yeah.
right?
That was like,
Was it last year or was it a year?
No, it might have been then.
I don't know.
Was it
It didn't happen.
See, and that big if there was a big storm, if my memory calls me right, then you see it didn't even matter because we're like, no, this is going to happen. This
I think you're right. I vaguely remember after the venue, after the Kadiwa formal ended, it was raining a lot. And we had to do that to get the stuff. Do you remember?
Oh, you're right.
And it was raining so much, and like the back it's not really concrete; it's dry, so it was flooded. And I was scared my van wasn't gonna make it. I was very nervous.
listen, but it made it.
But I made it. I thought we were gonna get stuck in the mud. But it was good. It was.
If it makes it,
fun.
it makes it.
Yeah. But
But
I
you
still had a
see,
good time.
like that didn't stop. We're like, no, Kadiwa for, and you said we're going to make this week, and it was so impactful. There were also other Kadiwa. This was their first.
Right,
Right,
exactly. Mhm. It was nice to see. It was nice to see Kadiwa that we don't normally see.
Mhm.
So
Yeah.
that really inspired us.
Mhm.
So that made us like, okay, what can we do next? What's
And
our next
it's,
one?
it's funny that the first people there are always the ones that are the farthest.
Yeah, I know.
And Sequoia always shows
Yeah,
up.
yeah.
first.
Pensacola. Yes, they were there first.
Oh, I love it.
That really shows your dedication.
Yeah, they
That's
were
why we have activities like this because you're just so eager to participate in these things, and it's always fun to dress up.
Yes,
right.
Exactly. And there's food, so.
Okay. Yes, where you can dress up.
You can dress up and eat.
Yeah.
That's everything.
And speaking of this, is everything. And this is
Oh yeah. Which was
Oh no! I remember this one. Well,
Okay.
I'm not.
You're not.
I'm not there. So, but from a multimedia perspective, so I was there for multimedia, and so seeing the Kadiwa, that really shows their faith and unity, being able to gather. What was it? Also, as well for that activity. I think it was in the chapel.
Oh,
yeah. The chapel. I remember that.
Yeah, they had the lights.
Where we had lights and a small stage.
Yes.
Yeah.
love it.
So being able to see that is so nice, and I think some of them were trying to make me perform. I mean, that's not my activity. They're trying to make me sing.
No, it was cool. There was spoken word. People just people just spoken word, and there was people who went up and performed when we asked them to.
Yeah.
I love it, but it's just that just kind of like it just shows okay, so we talked about a tribute to parents. We talked about like a formal, and then this is Kadiwa, like having things like that is like, while it's kind of artsy and not artsy, it's a safe outlet, right? Where you can go up there and then you can even just be around your peers in a Christian environment where your spoken word is cool.
Yeah. Kadiwa also were able to display their actual art, like drawing and other sculptures and stuff like that. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah,
We had really talented.
Actually, Brother Rob's sister Kat was there. She was there.
Ooh.
She
We
can
saw her.
attest to what was there too.
We're trying to make her perform. She won't do.
She said she already did.
It's fine.
You have to entice her with food. You got to entice her with like a free meal.
Food and gifts, probably. Maybe.
Free meal, yeah. That's her love language.
We all love food, right?
Yes, very true.
Oh, speaking of food. Okay, so the next one on our list, right, is the family cooking challenge. Oh, remember that one?
I think I remember that one.
Okay.
So it was held by Locale, I'm pretty sure,
Yes.
and at least in Locale of Orlando, I think the theme was like soups and like noodles,
Oh my gosh.
and then
Oh, yeah, I remember.
and then we had of course like each locale they had judges, and of course all the brethren, they were able to bring what they cooked, or I think even some locales they cooked it on the spot.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But even after all of that, once they're judges, everyone just enjoyed the food.
I know.
The
Well,
best, the best part.
see,
of
it's
course.
not. We
Okay.
always talk about the best part. I think for us, I think we did ramen, right?
Yeah.
Ours was wrong.
And the creativity behind ramen. I mean, you would think that all you have to do is just, add the hot water, and stuff like that. But it was, who doesn't like ramen? Right?
Yeah.
A creative spin on that. So that was fun. Woo! CWS Arts, Education, Values, and Music. This was also a good one too.
I love this one.
Right. I love how we do these because, if you're just joining us, CWS stands for Children's Worship Service. And these are our little lambs that are like 4 years old and older. Sometimes we have some ones that are younger than that. And they participated in, so each week there was something, right?
Yes.
So 1 week it would focus on arts. The next week it would focus on education. The next week we'll do something related to our Christian values and then music. So for the first week we did Apple. We drew an apple. We drew apples, right?
It was like how to draw.
Yes.
Apple.
Yeah, they drew apples and I know for Orlando what we did, we had like apples too, like.
Oh yeah, we had apples.
Apples as reference.
Yeah, as a reference.
As a reference. I mean,
just in case.
I
Some people
know.
don't know how to draw an apple, even though you know what it is. You're just like, wait, what is it?
yeah.
What is
like,
this
how
shape
did-
again? Is it
Yeah.
a circle? No, yeah.
And it was
hard.
fun. Yeah, it was
Yeah,
cute.
it was fun.
It was really cute. And then you could see the artsy side of our youth, like our little lambs, right? And they had like worms coming out.
I know. Some had bites in it.
I know.
And actually, some of them didn't draw an apple at all. So
Oh,
I
yes,
was like,
I know.
okay. That's
I know.
cool.
But then you can see their talent. And the point
Yeah.
of it was is that, we come together and that, that will hone on all those like the artsy side of them, right? Then following that, we had education. And it was nice because I believe for November, what they did was we talked about how to fold clothes.
Yes.
Right?
Oh,
Do you remember we're like, whoa, here you have like, this little brother over here and he can fold clothes better than I can. I'm like, wait, can I take you home? Right?
Yeah, my mom would say I need that.
I know, but you made like a CFO activity, right? Yeah, he was like folding the shirts all neatly. I'm like, did you work retail?
Well, I think what was nice is that I think some of the serious officers, we helped them as well, of course, but also there was like a nice little like tool. I've never seen this tool.
yes!
Like stencil, like you were like fold it and then it perfectly folded.
Was that you? Did you bring it?
I don't think so.
Oh, okay. That was really
That was cool.
yeah, because it's a life skill too, right? And then we went over values. We were talking. What was the values one for that?
I think it was a book. Was it the book?
Oh,
yeah.
yes, the book. But which book?
We read like one of the very serious storybooks.
Yeah.
It was really nice. I think it was either the one about wormholes, right, or it was the one about prayer. So, when it came to the values,
It was prayer.
Was it prayer?
It really was prayer. Yeah.
Okay.
Now I remember it. It was like a kid was like doing that. I think they needed help with a test in school, and also I'm thinking. Okay, I'm trying to think. So you can connect it also with like all your parents, because also there was a part where there's like the mom was like telling Mark, you need to pray before like going to sleep, going to school, getting a test, and then once the actually did pray, all those things came into fruition for him.
Isn't that like the story of our lives, right? Like we run into challenges, and we say this across the board, right? Buklod, Kadiwa, Binhi. And even for CWS, as we learned, right, this was a CWS activity. Whenever we have those hurdles and we're overwhelmed and it's like, how do we get through this? Prayer, right? And then it's so nice to know that that's something that we're instilling in our little lambs, right? Even as young as 4 years old, right? So that was just November. That was November.
Yeah, we did.
That's a lost one, just for 1
Right?
month.
But then isn't it fun? It's like looking back, you're like, oh yeah, I remember that's what happened. Then we're gonna move on to December. Kadiwa Cares. Oh, remember that?
Yes, I remember. It was. Was it
Oh,
also a
goodness.
clothing?
Yeah. Okay. Now.
Okay, was that? No, that was
I remember
last
so.
year. Was that or close?
That wasn't. This
This
was last year.
No, I mean, yes. Okay. Well,
Or the year before?
yeah. What did we do for
Was it-
Kadiwa Cares?
I feel like it was.
Okay. I remember it. I think it was every region we gather at one locale, right? And then of course just like the CFO cars actually, we have essentially a clothing swap, but also we're packing clothes for adults.
Oh, we donated the clothes.
Yeah,
It wasn't a swap.
region. Yeah, you're at least in the Atlanta region. We just donated to the local Goodwill.
I remember, yeah.
Oh, okay. All right. So here's. Wait, I love that. Okay, that's right because your policy did
Was a
clothes-
swap.
the clothing
Yeah,
swap.
okay, there you go.
Okay, so
We're connecting.
exactly because you always cared, right? Exactly, like donating to like a local charity or one of those organizations is always good.
Yeah, we even shared our faith.
We
We did share our faith. We
Pretty sure we
did.
shared like a Pasugo and also like an INCRadio card.
Yeah.
They were very nice about it.
I'm surprised too. It was like they were all still
They were
working.
still there,
They were
yeah.
still
It
working.
was nice. It was nice.
Like
to see.
past like the actual closing of the store.
Oh, they were like, yes, bring it.
Yeah,
on
they
over."
were.
Yes, I mean, like who doesn't want someone like bring it on over? I love it. Ooh, this one was a fun one. Unity Day.
Okay.
Esports. That's always fun. I remember seeing this, and you would think that like an esports would bring like just the younger generation. What was fun to see is that we saw some older, like even like old, like some well-seasoned but good, and like when they would come and play with like some of the CWS would be like, I'm gonna get this guy. But then like it was just so fun to see the just the interaction between everyone. And then we were also connected with all the different sites in our district. So that was fun to see too. We're like, hey, we're still connected with Sarasota over there on the coast and then Jacksonville. So it was nice to kind of play with everyone. It was just a variety.
What's funny, Sister Joy, is during the esports activities, like you said, this is when all of the couch dads actually come out of hibernation. Because the dads that can't play basketball anymore or can't run around up and down the field because they get leg cramps when they try to run a 40-yard dash.
Yes.
They all come out of the woodwork all of a sudden, and now they're elite athletes once again.
They need to come out with like the sweatband and like
They come out with their sweatbands. That's the funniest thing is when you see like a dad stretching before he goes to sit in the chair.
Watch out now, here we come, right? That was fun, and it's always nice. Ooh, I think this is one of our favorites because this is still ongoing. Friday youth missions. This is not, these happens, of course, we started in December here. We're talking about December, but Friday youth missions are something that even my entire family, we look forward to because it's a time where like all these different things are happening, right? So I want to hear from you guys. Friday youth missions, not specific, maybe, yeah. Do you guys remember anything? Just like, please don't ask. Like December, yeah. But because we have, so for Friday youth missions, we have different themes every week, right? And you would think that we ran out by now because we are in the month. Oh my goodness, we're in the month of May.
We're in May.
We're in May, and we have these like every Friday. So it's like, yeah, we haven't had the same thing. We haven't had a repeat.
No, we haven't. Actually, that's pretty impressive.
We've had a bunch of different ones over here.
Right. So what was your
We're
favorite?
like, we had so many different ones here, Sister Joy, with like fruit making, like fruit sculpting, bead making, and necklace making, or keychain making was another one, right? Calligraphy 101, which was awesome because my handwriting is so bad, and now I can just say it's just calligraphy. That's all. So when I write something, I can't read it.
It's a style.
our own art.
There you go. I like it.
Yeah.
Just say, I draw
Yeah,
like
when I write something now and they say I can't read your handwriting, I said, of course you can. It's calligraphy.
It's beyond your
I know, right? Exactly. Yeah, and we've even made like sushi or
The spam
spam
musubi.
right?
Okay, I think that was in December.
That's one of the earlier.
That was one of the earlier ones, right?
Yeah.
That was
We
really
had a
fun.
board game one.
Oh yeah, board
We did
game.
have a
That
board
was
game
fun.
one. Yeah.
There was-
One of them we had also the games one too, didn't we?
Yeah, the video games.
Video games, yeah, we had a video game one. Yeah, I always have fun. I look forward to those Friday youth missions all the time.
Mhm.
Yeah, those are so fun. I love seeing the children. The
Oh, I
CWS.
know.
They're so excited to be there.
They
They
are
might
so-
not know what to do,
I
but
know.
they're there and they're happy to be there.
Exactly.
So
As long as they're there with like the Atas, the Kuyas, the
Yeah.
big brothers, the big sisters, they're like, hey, you
Yeah.
want the games? Like when they're ready. Yeah, they are ready and equipped. Ooh, this is one of our favorites, Family Fun Day.
Ooh.
Right? Family Fun Day. That one in December. Oh, I think Okay, what is your favorite thing about family?
Is that the one where we had different countries?
Yes.
Oh,
yeah.
So at the same
Well, not
time,
countries. It was like
And food. Different
like
food
different
from
food, yeah.
different food from the different countries that we
Yeah.
represented. Ooh, yes, I remember.
We're Morocco, right?
Oh yeah,
Yeah, we're Morocco.
that's right. That's right. The decoration from
That's all. That's all. We tried.
No, but it was
No, but it's
cool.
awesome.
We really tried.
Yeah. And Angelina, you come from you understand the
A little bit.
I know.
I'm near there.
No, I know you were.
I'm half Lebanese, so like
I know, but so did we
it's a
do
little bit of
okay?
Arabic food. Yeah.
Did we do okay?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's great. It was great.
Okay.
It's awesome. It's cool. I'm represented. Speaking of that,
Right. So we do good, but that's always fun. I love always traveling to the different booths because then we had France, we had Cuba, we had Japan, right?
and
We
they
had
really
Spain.
go all out. Like,
Oh, yes.
They do the genuine food.
Yes, they do, and it's just so nice because then we first of all each congregation gets to experience cooking the actual cuisine, and then for all of us who are not part of that one, we get to experience eating that, right?
Yeah.
And then what you said, when they go all out. Their booths were decorated in the actual whatever traditional
Yeah.
things that they had. So it's always so nice to see the creativity, and most of all, I love the fact that in District of Florida, people are coming from different coasts, and they are bringing they're bringing the equipment, they're bringing the decor, and then the point is so that we can all come together and experience these things, and it's just really nice. It's really nice to have those things. It's actually one of my favorites. Always looking forward to the different food all in one place, right?
Oh, yeah.
You're like, oh, I feel a little bit of
We were all
fondue.
full, I think.
I know.
Yeah, you go to the Sanford booth, and you're like, oh, I'm in France.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, we're having Mexican today.
Yeah.
Oh,
Oh, yes,
great.
exactly.
So cool.
Yeah, or you go over to Tampa. You guys were Cuba, right? You had some Cuban coffee.
No,
right?
we were that year we were Greece. We were
Oh, was it
Greece.
Greece?
Yeah,
What's
not
that?
greasy. Not greasy. We were Greece. But we drained all the oil from all of our souvlaki meat that we were cooking. But yeah, we were Greece. We were right across from that awesome French stand that was Sanford. Was that Sanford?
That was
I think
Sam.
it was
Those
Sanford.
guys
Yeah.
were. That was. I walked in there and très bien. Oh,
I love croissant.
yeah. And then your French comes off. Your French comes off as, oh, can I have un café and croissant? por favor?"
Mine's just moi fondue.
I think it's just bonjour for me.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
No accent at all. Just don't know how to do it.
Delicioso.
So hard. Yeah, it's so hard. I don't know
That was
the word.
good. Oh, this one was fun. Kadiwa and Binhi team game.
Okay.
What did we do?
Oh, that's
It's always just fun
Okay.
because
I think I can mostly recollect this one.
okay.
We had the name and titles. We have a bunch of team games, all the more to strengthen us as we work better in teams, of course. And you see that it's really good for us because as officers we work in teams a lot. Whether that's in the CFOs, like us in the district CFO, we work in a team a lot. These two ACC, they work together, right? And then as for myself, I work with all the different committees.
Wait, what's the ACC? You got
Okay.
Okay.
I think you guys
ACC.
can-
Arts
Arts
and
and
cultural
culture
committee.
committee.
There you go. Arts and
One,
artsy.
two.
One, two, three.
But you
Artsy.
know what's great about that is that we're all more strengthened in the faith, but also we're strengthening our teamwork ability. So then when we are creating these activities, we know how to work well together.
That's
I
true.
love it. I think it's so important. And then speaking of working well together, we had a CWS bonding and book club night that followed that, right? And these were kind of they were together because during our book club night, we had the CWS in another room. So it was really an opportunity. And it's funny because we talk about specific, CFO or specific Christian family organization, like we say Kadiwa, we say Binhi, but this is all CFO because you can't have a booklet night if you don't have the binhi and the kadiwa looking after our CWN. Right?
After your children.
I know, exactly. So while we're all in the same building, Bookwoods were able to enjoy, like a nice dinner, and some time together, as married couples, all together. And then just, a few doors down, you have the CWS with our kadiwa and our binhi watching over them, playing games and having things like that. And these are really like core memories, while Bookload was able to have some core memories and some good food, right? And get all dressy. Because, like for formal, you guys like to get dressy, but this is an opportunity too for Bookload. We like to get dressed up too. And the core memories that we can spend together, like for each spouse, for every married couple, and then CWS too. And I'm sure y'all have good memories too, like, sit down, little.
Yeah,
sit down
for
eat
that
your food,
moment,
right?
we realized we're like, wow, our parents really do so much for us. Wow, it was Tribute's parents all over again.
I know.
I was like, wow. It was great though.
Right?
I think it was nice to see all the booklet dressed up.
Oh my goodness.
Everyone was really beautiful, very handsome.
I know. Can you believe it was only November and December? So,
Yeah.
Brother Robert, we've only covered, and that was just that's 30 minutes, and that was only November, December. Let's talk about, this is always good too. January, do you remember when we when we were doing the district planning conference? So we've been talking until now, right, about all the fun activities. So this is the time where we put our brains to work. When it comes to the district planning conference for all CFO, this is the time where we come together and it's almost like this, where we have to talk about like, do you remember all those activities? Okay, well, how are we going to level up, right? How are we going to plan for the next few months of activities? And we're living it now, right?
Mhm.
Which is so important to have activities like this, like the district planning conference. Do you guys remember that?
Was this the one where we were in Coke?
We were in Lakeland.
Lakeland.
I don't know. I feel like all of
I also mixed it up with Coco.
Wait, which one?
Mix it. No.
This one was in Lakeland, early
No,
January.
Lakeland.
It was like the first week of January. We just came off of like Thanksgiving, the New Year. So right as soon as the New Year hits, straight back to work.
Yeah, no, but this
I
is
think I'm mixing things up.
no, but it's funny though, because this is the time where, remember when we were like, okay, what should we do for this month? What can we do for all CFO for this month? And then just coming together, like what would best edify us, or what would be best for CWS? What would be best for Kadiwa? And it's funny because you see it and it kind of looks like, district plan. It looks so formal and something that's
Oh no, yeah, it was like totally opposite. I
No,
feel like it was we all were like able to talk to each other. So okay, I'm looking ahead, maybe I shouldn't, but like the leadership enhancement training, was that not
yes,
in
that-
Lakeland?
No, that one. We were held by region. For that.
Oh my
That was
goodness.
weird.
I'm
Yeah.
so
wait a minute.
Right.
I'm so confused.
No, wait.
Because the
I'm
leadership
mixing
enhancement
up
training, I think the host site was St. Pete with and hosting it was the District Kadiwa and the Leadership Enhancement Committee.
Mhm.
And they essentially gone through us like even to the local officers and to also us the district officers. We went
okay.
through all of the areas, how to take
remember.
activities.
Oh,
That's
And all the
right.
planning activities.
right.
Okay, so we're kind of like one,
Yeah,
right?
I remember.
Yeah.
That was
Part
one. Yeah,
one,
Sister
two.
Cat, Brother Rob, Sister Cat did great.
No, that one, the one in February was the one in St. Pete. And then later on, you'll see in the next calendar that you guys did the leadership enhancement in Lakeland. I think it was last
Yeah, I
month.
think
Yeah.
I'm like
Yes,
1
I
year
remember that
in the past. I think I'm not caught up yet.
Our brains have to go like all the way to
I'm too
2024.
bad. Yeah, I think I'm way too bad. I think it's 2023.
But
so.
you see, like these activities are just the activities that we're experiencing now are a result, of the things that we've all come together and have to plan for. So you see, and then the training that was essential, right? We needed that so that we'll be able to execute and make sure that we communicate as well that these are our requests, and that we would like to see these activities happen. Right. And then, so we're talking about all the time, like all these fun activities, but having a conference is necessary. The training that we need, what is the paperwork and all that was very important. And it's funny that it's kind of a blur, right? You're like, oh yeah, we need to do that.
Yeah.
But those are like kind of like the basis of what we had to do to make sure that we have these activities rolling. So really good stuff. And of course. You got to mix in some physical activity with that, right? We had flag football. You guys remember that?
That was a good one.
Yeah, and it's funny because most of you guys are like
Wait,
arts.
that was really good. Yeah.
Right, it's funny.
Our committee deals with
What's a sport?
I don't play sports.
running. What is running? But we're mostly the arts and like the culture part of our activities here in the District of Florida. So when we had flag football,
Yes.
that was another committee that was in charge of that, and it was funny because everyone was
Yes.
playing. Everyone was
book loads
involved.
came out.
Yes, even book loads.
Yeah, that's when we put on the sweatband.
I was so surprised.
Come
And
back here.
we were pretty good. That's why I was like, wow, they still got it. Like,
Yes.
I would love to be like that
Yeah,
too.
Oh, but afterwards, there was a whole lot of Ben Gay and Advil getting passed around. There's a lot of that going around.
Ace wraps and all that.
Yeah. Ice pack.
And you know what's great about it? It's like you're able to see all the people that may not be coming out usually to activities because they
Yes.
find interest in an activity like this.
Exactly.
They're active, and so they want to come to activities like that.
Mhm.
And like sports is a very common topic here, at least here in the United States.
Yes.
So, and especially football too.
Yeah.
With like was it Super Bowl and whatnot?
Oh yeah, so it was
True.
kind of like a
Super
tiny.
Bowl, yeah.
Super. This is what you get thing. It was quite super over here,
It was.
right? We have the CFO football here, flag football.
Mm-hmm.
Ooh, clay-making. Oh,
Back to
Oh my
art.
Just like
Back to
back
art.
to art. Actually, what I was gonna say about like it's funny that we're trying to kind of make it a pattern where if someone's not interested in this, they'll be interested in the next one. If not that one, then the next one.
Mhm.
So we're trying to give a lot of opportunities for the brethren to find something that they are interested in. Because,
Mhm.
Brother RJ's right. Not everyone's into art stuff.
Mhm.
Not everyone's into sports. So
Mhm.
yeah, that's what we strive to do in our district. Is we're
Because
trying
it's
to
for the
appeal-
brethren.
Yeah,
Exactly.
it's for
Exactly.
everyone. So I remember clay making.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
fun.
Yeah,
Clay
it
was
was
fun.
really fun.
Yeah.
I mean, it was so funny because, like, when I think clay making, I'm thinking of something, a little bit like you using your hands to make, like, something big this way.
Oh.
You guys were making things that were like this. That's how artsy they can be, right? It's like this tiny, and then like they're sculpting, like, and it's not round enough. Let's put some eyes on this thing or some feet on it, right? Like, and it's just like, oh, here's a tiny little star. That's
Yeah.
and it's good. I mean, from a mom's perspective too, I'm like, yeah, work on those fine motor skills.
Yeah.
Like,
And you know what? That's actually one of the objectives we wanted to point is like, and also arts and crafts, they kind of give you problem solving skills.
Mhm.
So if something doesn't work out, you're thinking, okay, how can I make it better? Even though it's not working out right now.
Mhm.
So yeah, we loved clay making. It was messy, but it was fun.
It was, right?
It was
But
messy
it's
in a
always
good way.
good. Good
Yeah,
stuff,
it
good
was
stuff.
fun.
My goodness, that was so. We went over November,
November.
December, January, February. That's only 4
Oh
months.
gosh.
What happened?
March. Ooh, it's
Oh,
you
wow.
know why it's a lot, because we had our district planning conference.
That's
Yeah.
true.
These are the fruits of all that
The labor.
right? You're like, hey,
That is
Yes.
true.
all that intense, like, okay, what can we do? This is what we're gonna do, and that's just March and April. Okay, so
Right.
let's go nutrition seminar.
I remember.
I
this.
love
Oh,
that.
No, this was
Vinny.
fun.
Take it away, Vinny.
So, I mean, of course, we as like humans, like we have to keep our nutrition in check.
Yes, not just sports, not just
Yeah.
arts, right?
True.
Right?
All the sports, we gotta keep our nutrition well.
There you go.
Also, we essentially had a little seminar creating like, how you can maintain like a healthy diet. Or maybe some foods that we can substitute for maybe non-healthier foods like junk foods. Maybe like instead of having always like candies and sweets, have more fruits. And like also I actually went around because I was part of one of the MCs, went around to some of the brethren asking like what's their favorite food, what their favorite fruit is.
Did you get fried chicken?
I mean, there's definitely some. I think at the potluck later, there was actually fried chicken.
No, but it was funny because we were like,
We
wait.
just talked about
What did you
it.
say again?
It's about balance.
Okay, there you go. That's the moral of the story.
And you know what's great too? We also create some healthy drinks for them as well. We had some smoothies for them
Oh, yeah,
to
that
try
was
out.
Those are good. Yeah,
Those were good.
You know, because then he did very well.
I
you
know, right? Aren't you proud?
I'm so
You
proud
got
of
to sit
them.
back and drink some smoothies.
I was
Like, make me another smoothie, please.
It's really nice. And then sometimes I'm in here like, oh, yeah, here you go.
I
Like, it
know.
was like, oh, this
Yes,
is nice.
it
This is nice
was.
treatment. They did very well. I really love that
And I
activity.
think one of the most like I will say like the underdog because there was like this one green smoothie. It had like spinach and I think what was it like banana or something.
Or you're
And
like,
like people like when they think spinach, of course, like we as like younger kids like we
yeah.
like see us they think oh vegetables.
Listen, that's not just younger kids. That's they're like spinach in your with your banana.
No, even they were like, are you sure?
But then when they tried it, it was like really good.
Yeah, actually, that was one of the
popular
ones.
top sellers.
Yeah,
Top seller.
now that we sold it, you know, it was one of the most faves, right? Yeah, but that was actually a hit. I have to say, that was good.
Brother Rob, did you guys also get these in when you
They
guys?
did. They got really creative here and decided to throw things like marshmallows and chocolate
Oh.
bars. That's our version of nutrition down here.
That's
in
right.
You know what?
region.
Except as we're talking about nutrition, right? We have family fitness that was up there,
Mhm.
right? Family fitness. That's when all the families came together. We did, workouts. I know for here in our region, we did bunch of workouts, and then right after, and it's funny because March was really like a good start to healthy, a good healthy start because we talked about nutrition. We did family fitness where we did some exercises. We even mixed a little bit of, I think there was like some martial arts in there. We mixed in some martial arts, and then the very next day we were not done. We had kickball, right? Yeah, and it was so cute when you see like all the little CWS that participate. They're like, I don't know how to play, and like just kick the ball.
Just kick the ball. It's in the name.
As
Right?
the movie tells, kickball.
You don't know exactly. You're like, okay. So then we're like, okay, you can slow down now. You don't have to kick the ball anymore.
Right.
But you see, and then just really good stuff. See, and then we did CWS board games. Oh, and this is cute too, right? Because again, CWS are our young little lambs that are like 4 years old and above. So they're like, how do I play this? Like, I can't even read. Like
They started making up their own rules.
I know.
That's what I think is what happened.
I can read this, so we've got our exercises, going on, physically fit, and then encouraging them like, okay, this is, and you see, it was an opportunity to help them read a little better and then to work
Teamwork.
together. Yes. And then they got to like rotate, like, okay, we know you're not done with this game, but we're going to rotate and then learn to play a different game with other kids. So, good things too. So look, we did our like nutrition seminar. We were getting our fit on with all these physical activities, collaborating with making sure that our young little lambs are also included, and then student study. Right. I know, like sometimes, like you're like, it's so daunting to hear. You're like, oh,
Yeah.
I gotta study, right?
We had to
Study for a test.
I know.
To make it, I think, tried, mind you, because studying sometimes it can get kind of boring. But we tried to make it fun. Where like even if you're not studying for like a specific class or a test, maybe come and read a book.
Yeah, but it was fun because, and of course, Angelino came out with a keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
He came out with a keyboard. He's like, hey, why you all?
Studying his keyboarding skills.
That's true. See, that
You-
counts as stuff,
Right? And then
Wait, you guys had studying and a show?
they were studying their piano lessons, right?
You had
So-
studying dinner and a show? That's
That was
it.
it. There you go. It was fun because you could see some. I mean, they had their biology books
Right.
out, their algebra books, and then here's Angelina was like,
Just
some
playing some
inspiration.
jazz.
Because the Kidio were supposed to help with their homework.
Yeah.
I don't remember anything.
I
So I'm like, let me take the piano.
Let me do something I do know.
I know. Here we are, right? Oh my goodness! But that's always fun. But you see, like, it's always so good with our. Look at this. Month of March was like so full of all these good things. We even, with all that studying, we even learned some languages, right? Language learning seminar, and that was fun because I remember hearing some of my kids come back. They're like, and for this month we did Tagalog, right? And did you guys learn any new words?
I wasn't here
Phrases.
for that.
Well,
Unfortunately,
me and Angelina were
they let me.
switching him mostly. That's
Oh,
what.
that's so funny. So you were the.
It's all the
kid
wrong
who-
words.
Like the only one that doesn't know.
Like, what's hello? What's hello?
so you got, even my daughter was like, oh, I know how to greet them. And she's like, Mustafa. I'm like, yeah.
Isn't it technically how are you? Whatever. I'm just
I know.
It's not
Hola.
interchangeably. It's like you can say "Mustafa," which is like "Hello, how are you?"
Yeah.
There you are.
I
I was
just think
just saying what I learned.
Oh, okay. So we learned languages and we also learned how to write.
Oh, this is Brother Rob's favorite.
Oh, yes, I know, right? Yes. Write like a doctor.
Yeah. This is where
They're
you
smart.
Yes.
So if that makes you smart, right?
Yeah.
Smarter, yes. Right.
Exactly.
There you go.
I will not use that as an excuse. If they can't read my handwriting, I'm like, it's
It's smart.
calligraphy.
It's
It's calligraphy.
It's smart.
It's too smart for your understanding.
Oh, I don't
You
know.
just
That
don't
one might
understand.
like kind of like, oh, it's too smart.
And they're gonna be like,
Teach me.
what? That it literally doesn't have words.
I know.
No
Well, come
words.
to calligraphy 101 and learn, right?
But it's cool because like if you look back at March now, so you have the fitness,
Mhm.
Yeah.
and then you have your brain stimulation.
Yes.
Yes.
And
Oh, yeah.
that correlates a lot to your New Year's resolution. I remember that
Yes.
was mentioned a lot.
Yeah.
So it's like usually people get off their New Year's resolution around March, like a
That's
couple months
true,
later. So
yes.
it's like we're trying to like hey,
Get back.
remember.
Don't leave us behind.
We did this exactly, and then we did that, and then we go to April. Look, and then so we're doing these things that are good for us, and then we give back to the community with things like a blood donation drive. I mean, and you all here, especially, and we know this. This is just not in the United States, but there's always a need for those. When it comes to giving blood, right? And especially when they're in their most vulnerable state, medically. So that's always a good community outreach that we have. And here it is, leadership enhancement training. That was the one.
That was
That's the one.
Lakeland.
That was the one on Lakeland. That was the fun
That
one.
was
That's where
very
all
good.
the like team building, right?
Yes, yeah.
That was the boat
Yeah,
scenario,
the boat-
right? The
the
boat
boat-
scenario when you guys were like, oh, okay, if you were in a boat.
Oh, yes, the boat. Okay.
We were
On the same boat.
We were somehow all in the same boat. Accidentally. Okay.
And they blamed it on me.
Yeah, we
Well,
were
it's
like,
easy
it was Arnie's
to.
fault.
Our
That
memories.
we blamed it because he was like one of the things. We're like, it's your fault.
I wasn't the
I think you did something.
Wait a minute. Okay, so I heard. Okay, so if you guys were in the same boat, okay, so this was okay. So for those of you guys who are listening, one of the team building activities was they have to survive, and you guys are stranded on an inflatable boat. Right, your current status is you're in an inflatable boat, right?
I think
Well,
what happened was
What had happened?
the
You
boat
know.
was somewhat
Yeah.
okay.
No, put us in the situation.
Oh,
So the boat like exploded or caught on fire, and we had to grab like 10 items before it sunk. And I think the number one was like the boat.
Yeah, number one was okay. My list wasn't in the top like 5. Here's why:
Yeah.
because I misunderstood the assignment. I thought like the boat blew up, and then we're on an island, and like we're trying to survive. And I was like, why would we need a boat, guys? We're fine. We're on land. And
Oh,
then I'm like thinking, like, wait, but how are we gonna get back to life? Like,
Yeah.
how are we? That's not gonna happen. So this is why a group was important. So I was really like, guys.
so what was the number one thing on your list?
boat?
It was the boat.
Like, it was a boat.
Okay, boat.
Inflatable boat.
I think
So
the
we were
boat-
on a wooden boat at first, and we blew up.
Oh,
I
oh,
think the second
goodness.
one was like water, right? Like bottled
Was it water?
or canned
Water.
food
Oh
I
my
think it
Or-
was water.
or a knife. It was either of those 3.
Oh my goodness,
I
guys,
don't
that
remember,
was
but
fun.
it was
It's
really
always
fun.
fun. Those things are always
It was
fun.
really fun.
And then
yeah.
look at that. Look, we even had, okay, so we talked a little bit about the fruit art making, right? We always had fun with that. I mean, who doesn't like to play with their food? It's like Robert
Exactly.
mentioned, right?
Yeah. And you don't get in trouble for it.
There you go,
That was the
making food
activity.
art. And not only did we make like fruit art, we also made keychains. Oh, this was fun too. Some of my kids came home and they made their keychains, right? Yeah, and then making different. It's a little
And
bit
just like but unlike the making fruit art, you can't eat what you made.
Right.
That's
Exactly.
true.
It's you can, but is it advisable?
Probably not good for you.
Yeah, or
that's-
Are
make
you
a charm
allowed?
out of
Yeah.
candy. That's what it is.
Yeah.
Oh, there you go.
Some of them look really tasty. They look like candy.
Actually, they do those
Delicious.
beads, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Are
yeah.
those like
We're not condoning.
Yeah.
We're
not eat your ways.
not eat.
Yeah, but aren't those
Do
also
not
those, like,
eat the
candy-
beads.
Candy keychains as well.
Oh my gosh, yeah,
They
those
do?
look like actual candy. Yeah, they have little charms that look
edible,
like
yeah.
candy.
What do
Oh,
they
no,
make those?
We're on the wrong track. I know what you're talking about.
Oh wait.
Wait,
Oh.
Wait.
I don't know. I don't know.
Oh my goodness. So we're creative, right? We're tapping into that creative side of us. And then we had our family photo walk. That was like a nice outdoor, a nice opportunity for us to actually go outdoors.
Mhm.
And I know like in the Tampa region, you guys were able to go to a nice park and even spot did you guys spot any of the Florida's most loved gators?
Famous resident. We definitely did. We turned it into a photo scavenger hunt, actually.
that's
That's
we
fun.
had a photo scavenger hunt, and one of them for bonus prizes was to get a photo of an alligator, but not a selfie. We didn't want it to be a selfie. You don't want people getting involved.
What if it was a selfie though?
I know, like
Yeah, then it's double the bonus points. But we practice safety.
the alligator's like this tiny.
Yeah,
this
yeah.
is so small. Like,
Far
there
away.
you go.
It's just
There's a gator in there, I promise.
And we don't want to know where the mama is,
Yeah.
right? Exactly.
That was the same day as Benny Formal.
No, that was the
they-
same day
I
as
saw
the
leadership
photo.
enhancement.
Oh yes, photo and
See, my mind is, I don't know where I am.
But I think Vinny Frank Formal was the week before though.
Okay.
yes, and these were the ones that were like, you see, that's why it's like so.
Yeah,
fun.
Brother RJ can talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
Now this is
sounds
the
like-
one I was most anticipated for, at least. When I first heard that we can do these kind of activities, at least for the Binhi, I was kind of shocked, because then I was like, this is something at least the Binhi can look forward to, because we never have something like this.
Where you
This
can
is-
actually dress up really
Yeah.
fancy.
Yeah.
Like Binhi formal is a big deal because it's true. Booklet has an opportunity to dress up. Kadiwa has an opportunity to dress up too, and all these fancy gear. But for Binhis, this is fun.
Yeah.
This was fun.
I was a little bit jealous. I was like, I didn't have that.
I know, but we were there.
But
right?
we were there. We were part of it. It was like reliving.
And I strategically planned it because usually Kadiwa Formal is in the fall time, and then booklet is in winter. So might as well put Binhi in spring. And then also it was in the month of April, right before when students have to start getting ready for tests
That's
and
true.
whatnot. So that's part of the reason why I planned it for April. So that for one, the Binhi are able to do something before they have to get back to work, get
Yeah.
back to school. We'll start studying for those final exams, those AP exams, maybe what else is there, like IB and ACE, and then
But you know
There's
what
so
though?
much.
But it's such a great opportunity because as Binhi, you look forward to it. And then and that's just Binhi. And then our CWS can look forward to something as they transition, right?
Yeah.
And so and I'm sure that they were looking forward to it
there was
because
even,
we had
there was even some Bible students there too.
Yeah. it was
exactly.
very
The Bible
nice.
students that were transitioning to be Binhi, they were actually looking forward to that formal. And like say, for example, like those CWS, right? They were able, they can look forward to activities like that for the Binhi because they were preparing for something called Tagisan ng Talino. And that's like, so we talked about study sessions. The CWS, when we held this, it's kind of, it's intimidating, for the youth, because when you hear like, oh no, God, the brains, like, how am I going to retain all this information? And even for them, they're young, but they feel that pressure. But we had fun.
Mhm.
We actually had fun because they're like, okay, let's first group together and see what we can remember. And they're like, oh yeah, I remember this is what happened. And it's so wonderful to hear that some of our youth, remember a lot of the things that are taught to us or taught to them in the children's worship service.
Yeah, that made me especially proud. I was
Right?
like, wow.
Yes, exactly.
And
And
it was a lot to remember. I
It
agree. And so I was like, wow, they really do remember
Yes,
this
they
stuff. And I'm
do.
happy.
and
was
I
like,
know it makes you
wow.
proud.
And even as a
those
CWS
things-
officer too, it's hard to remember all that.
Yeah,
Yeah, it is.
it's hard.
But then it becomes part, and that's the point, is so that we can actually make sure that these are things that we remember, the moral of it, the
Yeah.
story of it, so that we can, adapt those things into our everyday living and
Mhm.
really good things. Oh, Kadio meet and greet. This was a fun one too. And this was an opportunity, right? For especially in our panhandle, right? For all for the Kadiwa to actually get together and meet those that are not only in our district, but also outside. So tell us,
So,
briefly a little bit.
Just
about
last week too.
This was
Yeah.
we're still recovering. No, but this was a really fun. This was really fun and kind of like, and it was ambitious. Like this was,
Yeah.
we never done anything like this before. This was pretty big. We had to have all of the district video officers go to the Panhandle,
Mhm.
and it was an inter-district Kadiwa meet and greet with the locales that are so far away, they don't get as much attention.
You know what? And I think that these activities are so important, and it inspires you. It gives you, and it gives all of our brethren, because we feel that love. We want them to feel that love too. And as a matter of fact, we have an opportunity to get that love tomorrow, y'all. We have something really exciting here. The sunny side up here, right on the District of Florida. We're looking forward to CFO Day. This is big. This is really big for us, and this is big for everyone, and we're really looking forward to that. And as you can see right here on the screen, this is really something that we're all looking forward to, because each organization in the Christian Family Organization will be able to be, we're represented. And this is not just the Buklud, those that are in the married category, not just the Kadiwa, that are those that are 18 years, not 18 years and above, that are not yet married, are Binhi, who are roughly about 12 years old, 17 years old, and our CWS. We're all going to be coming together for a day of just really good fun and food, of course, right? Looking forward. And then Brother Robert, you're going to be coming down here. Yay!
Yeah, we are. I can't wait to be there in person. I love traveling down there, Orlando, every time I get the opportunity to. And it, of course, it's going to be a great activity tomorrow, because that's again one of the few instances where we get all of the CFO organizations together. A lot of the activities you guys talked about today are usually either Kadiwa or Binhi, Buklud, but this is the time when all of us get together. We talked about it last December, where all those different food booths were there. This one, I hear we have a very special activity that's going to be happening, where some of our brethren are going to get to showcase some of their furry family members, right? And I don't mean their young sons.
The fur babies.
Yes.
Fur babies, right? There's going to be a pet parade. I'm super excited about that. And I wanted to just give a special shout out to our District Kadiwa, because you talked about it just a few minutes ago, but about that Pensacola meet and greet for the states outside, because the sacrifice involved for a lot of our viewers, especially the ones who were in states where maybe the congregations are a lot closer. The District of Florida District CFO officers traveled in excess of 6.5, 7+ hours to be able to get there to host this activity for a lot of the congregations, like in the District of Virginia, the District of South Central States, that typically don't get to do this kind of an activity. So I think that was an awesome effort on the part of you guys. Give yourselves a hand, because that was an incredible amount of effort that went into that.
Incredible with a capital INC. I'll put that there.
And there was a ton of sacrifice that went to doing that, all for God's glory. And you guys did a phenomenal job. And I know for a fact, having spoken to several of them, that many of the participants from the other districts really, really appreciated and valued that time that they were able to spend with you guys. So it was an awesome job. And, just keep up the great work. And, we have, as Sister Joy loves to put it, some of the most incredible, with a capital INC, District CFO officers here and in the state and the District of Florida. But tomorrow's activity, that's the big one. That's the big one. We're all going to get. And remember, if you're coming out to join us, remember, let's proudly show your colors. If you're a member of the Buklud organization, you're going to be wearing your Buklud red. If you're a Kadiwa member, you're going to be wearing that awesome blue that's going to be standing out there. And then if you're a Binhi member, of course, we want to see you out there in your sapling green, because those colors are going to stand out and help us to be able to identify you. And of course, for our CWX members, you guys are going to be out there in bright banana yellow. I can't wait. So, but that's going to be a great activity tomorrow. The weather's going to be good. I hear it's going to be a typical May day for us here in Florida, in the upper 80s. So we can't wait, and we want to see everyone there. Please join us. It starts at 4 p.m., Sister Joy, if I'm not mistaken.
4 p.m. We'll see you here, sunny side up of Florida.
That's right. And it won't be so hot that we'll be able to cook an egg sunny side up on the sidewalk.
You know what? I've always wanted to do that. Honestly, I've always wanted to cook an egg on like a.
Let's try it.
Wait until July. Yeah, wait until July. We'll
one day.
We'll do a whole tupsilog thing.
Oh, yeah.
release and everything. Well, I want to thank our host, Sister Joy, of course, for moderating this discussion along with our wonderful guests that we had, Sister Elida, Brother Angelino, Brother RJ, our District CFO. You guys are amazing. And we want you to please stay tuned because coming up next is going to be the INC Radio Satellite Studio up there in Washington, D.C., who will be doing their warm-up of their CFO activities. So we'll see you next week here on INC Radio Florida. And may you have a very sunny side up Saturday. Take care.
This is INC Radio, DCEM 954,